Hey, welcome to CSM Practice Podcast, where we spill the real tea on what it takes to build a customer success organization that doesn't just check boxes, it actually brings about and drives real revenue. I'm Irit Eizips, your host and founder of the Customer Success Method Academy, the coaching program for ambitious executives who are duct taping customer success strategies together and want to lead with confidence, clarity, and a little bit of swagger. Now, if your team is stuck in a reactive mode, I totally get it. If onboarding feels like a little bit of a May, you're heading CS for the very first time, you're not sure where to start, and kind of wondering if your CSMs are even doing the right things, stick around because today we're going to have an epic episode. Wow, it's going to be a real masterclass if you ask me. We got Pablo Kern in the house. So, Pablo, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to me to be here.
For those who don't know Pablo and haven't read about him yet, he's a senior director of customer success at a company called Spryker. He's going to drop some knowledge bombs around how they took their customer success game to the next level, from sort of like completely scattered to something scalable using a platform called EverAfter. So let's get right into it. Give us some context around what is the customer base looks like, what's your CSM team looks like. Give us some context. Is the high touch environment, lots of customers and completely digital CS?
I will start with Spryker. So Spryker Systems is a digital commerce vendor. So we are offering technology to do your digital business, basically, for large and enterprise customers. We have a dedicated chief customer officer representing Customers for Life, the department, on the ELT level. And within the Customer for Life department, we have customer success, which I'm heading. Then we have partner success, as we do all the implementation and maintenance only with partners. And we have our community team, our academy team, which is looking for educational content internally, but also for partners and customers. And then we have our expert services and our success enabling services, where we guide partners and customers if there are some special cases or to provide extra services where they might stuck in certain situations. Coming to customer success, organize the team now for the dedicated industries. So we have a consumer goods team and we have an industrial goods and automotive team with CSMs. And then as well, we have individual contributors also reporting directly into me, which are experts. One is a value lead, for example, with a programmatic approach of up and cross-sell, and also creating value with and for the CSMs and for the customers. Then we have a lead for customer experience, for digital customer success. Also, you mentioned EverAfter, so that's located there. And then we have the renewal management, which also started in customer success and just transferred into an account management team, which we formulated, which is kind of sitting between customer success and sales. I would say we have the best collaboration we could wish for with sales and the account management team, because we are concentrated on driving the value and also finding the right opportunities for renewals, up and cross-sell, bringing everything to a more standardized way. As you can imagine, like 10 years old, there were old contracts in place. We need to standardize already, but I think we have the right strategy to face that.
Before you started thinking about leveraging a solution like EverAfter, what were some of the challenges you were trying to solve, or what were you running into again and again that made you think, ooh, I probably need to do something here?
You always have to put yourself into the other one's shoes. So putting myself into the shoes of a customer, I was thinking about, like, how can I make life easy for the customers to work with Spryker? We have a quite sophisticated solution on the market, and it can be difficult to find the right resources and the right topics you are searching for. And if you always rely on humans or individuals to answer your questions or to help you out or to guide you, especially at the beginning during onboarding, and usually it takes like 3 to 6 months for a customer to launch an MVP project, but it can also take longer if that's more sophisticated. Then it should be good to have kind of a portal and to have kind of a go-to place where you have the availability of 24/7, and not if someone is actually working for you within office hours, or a support team, which is of course there 24/7, but also to help you out spontaneously. And very often there are typical and repeating questions we of course know over time with the experience adding customers, serving customers. Another very important part was for me to dedicate the resources I have to valuable encounters with our customers, and not let CSM do the little nitty-gritty stuff, which is consuming time but not adding any value, and anyhow nobody likes filling out sheets and so on. Then we had, of course, also challenges with existing systems within our company, where we also had dependencies with support and sales and so on. And then I was searching for an easy way to try out something. And that's anyway part of my philosophy: all in, try, fail fast, or do the next, or maybe it succeeds.
If you think about those challenges that you had at the beginning, and it sounds like the team was dealing with non-value activities that you thought, well, if it was just in one place, the customer can consume it on its own time, then I wouldn't have to have so many calls with the CSMs. And it also sounded like you wanted to impact the way that you collaborated with other teams and create better transparency. And if I read between the lines, if we're super dependent on meeting the CSMs in order to make progress, I'm almost de facto slowing down the implementation process instead of giving the client all the enablement tools to move as fast as they want. Would you say all 3 points were changing after you had the EverAfter platform or the hub completely configured the way that you wanted it to?
Absolutely. We increased efficiency from what we were able to measure by 30%. We increased the quality. Customers were reaching out and giving us compliments and say wow, that's a game changer. It's one of the best things experienced with working with a software vendor. We never saw something like this before. So that was also giving us proof that we are on the right way, and that we are adding value to the customers, but also adding value to the CSMs. It's not a secret. CSM is very often about reactive work and being steered by urgent topics over the day, a lot of things you cannot plan in your daily lives. And I mean, from time to time, we still have those topics and we are there for our customers, but customers also have the first option to enter the hub and search for something, or enter our community and also reach out to the community. It's a moderated community where we have experts. And then the CSM should be the position where if you want to have a nice chat, if you want to have a nice human interaction, and the CSM, of course, is then able to concentrate on creating value, on creating a strategy, working with the customer on vision maps, like looking into their business. And therefore also we have the experts within those industry groups where we can see left and right and see okay, what is the market doing? How's the market developing? But also cross-functional, like for a consumer goods customer, we can bring inspiration from an automotive customer. And that's a typical example actually in both directions, because these businesses are very diverse. But since we are one big team, we are also exchanging behind the scenes and can bring inspiration not only on the hub, also with use cases and success stories, but also then in real talks. And I think we also changed the team to have a way more mature team than we had a while ago. So we have the right people, which are not more like the customer assistants, which is sometimes misused typically within customer success. People are on the same eye level and are respected by the customers, and customers can trust also on advice, which is maybe not directly connected to Spryker technology or to digital commerce, but also to the ecosystem. There I have to mention that we are very, very open for any other technology. So very often there is not one search technology or not one technology for a specific topic you want to solve within your digital commerce landscape or within your software landscape within the company. So that is also something which adds another layer of complexity. And this is nothing you can solve on a standard level. You need someone who's knowing that, especially for automotive, there are typical systems. You need to have people who know like what's coming from the outside and what needs to be provided to steer it out. Those were topics we were actually then able to provide to add more value and concentrate on the topics which are where the strategies of our customers are driven.
I think that's a well made point. You can have the best portal, but if your CSMs or have the skills to be more of a VA, a virtual assistant versus a trusted advisor and a consultant, it will only get you so far. Let's get back to that initiative that you created, the customer portal. How long did it take you to build, and what are some of like the 3, 5 cool things that you've done there that you think, well, if you haven't done that, it wouldn't have been such a cool experience for the customer. These are the must haves, the wow factors, the eye candies, whatever you want to call it, that allures the customer, for lack of a better word, to want to use this, because it's a big change management for the customer. Before, they would just call the CSMs and have all these conversations. And now you're asking them, no, be self sufficient, go to this portal, do these tasks, and take accountability for your own success. So, spill the beans. They have like 3, 4, 5 ideas that you can share?
I have to say that EverAfter has a very good structure as a SaaS product. You can, with kits and nested kits, arrange how you want the different elements represented on the platform very easy. But of course, you need to get familiar with it. You need to have an expert on the first hand. And we had great guidance from EverAfter. So we were able to actually reach the first live version within 3 months already. So the biggest part actually was to provide internal documentation, alignment, and have everything ready to be represented on a portal like this. Because of course, I don't want to hold back with that. That's the bigger part actually, to be ready for a portal, to be ready to represent all you have to a customer. So the portal is one thing, it's the interface, but to have everything ready, I would say that's the bigger part. And then I was lucky enough to have a very, very great and dedicated individual person on the team who was into driving digital customer success and customer experience. So I was able to also free this person up from any customer engagement and responsibility and to concentrate only on this. Valentina, she just did a fabulous job in cooperation with EverAfter, and we had regular checkpoints aligning on the strategy, where to go, and she built this wonderful hub. And we started actually with the existing customer base and not with the onboarding of new customers. That was also very untypical. So we started in the middle of the journey because we said, okay, this part, we might have the content very ready. We have a very complete concept, which we can bring as a start. So we built that portal. And the nice thing was also that we, of course, you have your superheroes within your customer group where you can like reach out and say like, we have something new coming up. Can you check it and give me feedback and so on? So we started with a focus group once we had the first concept ready, and then also brought them to the portal, interacted with them, worked with them, redefined the concept and worked on that. And I would say the biggest wins in the beginning where there's something called like first experience. If a customer enters the portal the first time, we included a video of one of our founders, Alexander Graf, who's an expert in digital commerce. He was welcoming the customers with a personal note, with a short video of 30, 40 seconds. So it was already a very human touch, adding to the very first experience, welcoming the customers to that portal, explaining in very short the value it adds. And then the customer gets to a starting page where there are check boxes in the journey and guides the customer very clearly and like, get familiar with this and that, and then go there and so on. So the customers were kind of gamification was added in there, and the customers were curious to enter the platform and go the next step and the next step and the next step, and they explore it themselves. We had high interaction. Customers were coming back to the portal regularly. And then the next challenge was, of course, how can we keep this momentum up? How can we bring actual content again and again and again, that customers don't see the same thing all over, because then they might lose the interest of it. And that's the third big game changer, that we then started to build expert roles within our organization. So we have dedicated people within product, within tech, within marketing, within support, within partner success, and all the different areas, sales, which are responsible for content, also our business consulting, for example, expert services, which are responsible to add and bring value to this platform and to represent themselves also in front of customers. So on one hand, it was a high compliment for them because they were the first time able to represent everything they have. On the other hand, they are highly motivated, of course, to bring new content and to motivate customers and share their content. So we have different videos of our experts starting representing their area or their services or what they are doing. So we have on one hand the platform and the portal, which is the structure needs to be very good, of course, that you don't lose customers. And on the second hand, to add the human touch to it, because there are tangible, real people. It's not like an AI avatar who's speaking to you or a chatbot or something. But we are planning also to look into this because there's a use case for everything. That's the biggest argument, actually. If you reach a moment where individual human being, I don't say customer, individual human being feels like I enter this platform and I have a benefit from it personally and for my business, and I like to interact with this platform. And I always have the opportunity, if it goes beyond what's offered there, to have a very easy reach out to my CSM, to an expert there, to the community, to the support team, etc. If you reach that with a platform, that's the biggest argument and the biggest win. And it's not that hard to reach it if you concentrate on the value.
I've heard that you've done things with a mindfulness around the experience and a few things that are in the mindset of value. First, you had the video from your founder. Just make that personal connection. This is my business to your business, my family to yours, sort of thing. Make it personal and sign them up for the vision that he had for the company and how he was going to add value to their business as well. Secondly, you had a community aspect and access to experts that they otherwise might not have. If you're just talking to the CSM, you wouldn't even be exposed to these expert calibers that you get access to within the portal. You talked about gamification, make it fun and like engaging to actually go to different places and be interactive with the platform. You talked about changing the content from time to time. So it's not a stale environment. I'm almost like half curious, what else is new? You might even have announcements around what else is new. So you had bespoke champions that would consistently create news or new content inside the portal, just like you would do with the support knowledge. But this one took a little bit of a different vibe to it, it feels like. And so all these different elements created a more engaging portal than a stale environment. In terms of value, again, those value champions, the access to peers to see, hey, exchange best practices, what works, what doesn't, having a clear understanding of what to do next is helpful. Like now I have almost like guardrails. If I wanted to get to this outcome, here are the step-by-step instructions on how to do it and all the supporting material so I can move on to my own pace. And actually, like most of this use case is recapped on the EverAfter website because it was part of the Excellence Awards that they issued. And one of the screenshots was a section within the portal called Roadmap to Success. Can you tell us about that specific element within the hub? What did it include? How did you figure it out? Did you make any adjustments to it over time? And what did your team get out of it?
Customers buy on hope and customers renew on experience. So that's a very important guideline, which is actually not coming from me, but from our chief customer officer, Eric Schreiner, who was formerly with SAP. There's so much truth in it, and it also connects very well to roadmap of success, because you need to bring the customer to a certain starting point where their hope is basically answered, where they feel like, okay, after the pre-sales phase, now I signed the contract, you need to give them the good feeling, like this was the right decision. So you need to show them we are highly professional. We are absolutely interested in your success. And that is also something our contracts are very much connected to the success of our customers. So they never question from the very beginning on that, okay, after pre-sales, now they have their signature, now they are gone. We are here for them. We are non-profit within Customer for Life, within Customer for Success. And we show them from the first moment, like, this is the right decision because we have a roadmap to success for you. And this is guiding you to your success. We agree on GMV targets for digital platforms, like what they plan to turn over platform. And we are measured by GMV targets of our customers. So this is a very important part where we fully commit to the success of our customers, and we show them the plan how to reach that. We show them the milestones, we show them the tools we can offer. Also, if they struggle with certain topics, as I said before, they decide for a partner to implement our solution and to implement it into their ecosystem of their technology and their strategy. But we have business consultants on the side. We have expert services on the side where we can also leverage. You have a certain ask for a certain technology to include. Is that something we can offer in a standard or easy connect to our platform? So we show them that it is easy, even though a project like this can be very, very sophisticated.
So I wanted to show this. This is the form you're asking clients to actually put in all this information. Did you have any clients sort of like skip this part? You even asked them what are your top goals for their business or for them using the system. So what was the reaction of clients and how did you get them to actually fill out the form? Was this form, did you make it mandatory to get services? What were you thinking about in terms of change management? Because these are good questions. What is your URL you sell? Who are your customers? How complex are the products that you're selling? All these really important things that would give your team the ammunition to be super valuable, highly customizable in their advice to that specific customer. It helps them do some light due diligence that otherwise might be very time consuming.
Yeah, it's also good for the customers to reflect. And you are just scratching on the surface with that screen, because if we are deep diving into a QBR or on a vision map, this can be an exercise where we can guide customers for hours or in different sessions through that to also reflect and to find the purpose of their business and what they want to drive with that. But within that portal, that short plan should, so it can be either pre-filled out from the pre-sales coming, where we also have the handover. It can be worked on first session, maybe after we presented Spryker, ways of working, we pitch customer success and the hub, where we then also go in the second part, maybe through, okay, let's speak about your business, get familiar with what are you doing. It also gives them a good feeling. And of course, it's our base to work with and for the customers in the best possible way. So, but let's imagine we don't have the pre-sales information. We didn't have that meeting, etc. And we just send the customer to that form. It can be that they don't fill it out at all because they feel like, I don't need to invest that time now. I just want to get to my info. So then is also the question, how can we reach that moment of get that info and take value out of it? And that was exactly what we are working on right now. As we are now concentrating also, I mentioned the onboarding hub, which is then seamlessly going into the customer success hub. And now we are concentrating on a kind of pre-sales hub where we can already start to interact with potential customers within pre-sales phase, also share demos, documents, etc., interact with them. And that is, of course, the best option to collect that info already and align with them. Imagine the story of a customer reaching out to a new software vendor who's interacting with you on a platform like this, where you really see like they're interested in my business and the value and so on. And then if after you decided, they just bring that into a personalized, I think that's exactly the user experience. Also, if I experience myself as shopping in an online shop where I have a self-service portal where I feel like, okay, I know I have the trust there. The customer or shop knows me somehow and knows my interest, like maybe because I'm interested in certain lights or anything. And then I know where and how to find what I need. That is the topic to create that journey. And then these fields are not new because they are already part of the journey. So that would be best. And we figured out that they are not optimal as they are maybe nowadays, but they can be for different entry points. They can be a good starting point or a good result of pre-sales. And then again, partners play a vital part as they are not part of that yet. But in the future, partners, of course, they work very close with our customers, sometimes even closer than we do. And if that special information also is shared and we can, again, use it for the best purpose of the customer again, then it's like fully integrated for them, the experience.
I think in today's world, you could actually have an integration with OpenAI, like doing an API code and run a prompt that says, hey, go look at all of our either sales notes, which I think is more difficult, but what I would have done is just search online and fill in these as best you can. And then what I would have asked the customer before I show them anything else in the portal, like I might show them the video and then I'll show them this form. And then I would just say, hey, go through this. Would you change anything? Is this accurate and complete? And if not, please adjust, and only then let them go into the portal, because, and literally explain at the top, hey, this is important for us to customize your experience and deliver specific value that would be most applicable for your business. I think I would have taken a couple of minutes to just review everything. And in today's world, there's really no excuse. Like OpenAI actually has API code. Give it the credit card and it'll just populate whatever you need with an easy prompt. I'm sure EverAfter supports this. And then literally it's just me reviewing what you think about me. Easy. If I need to change a few things, I will, and then I'm done. And then I go to the portal. The reason I say like it's this sequence is because at the beginning of the experience, customers are very motivated to tell you about themselves. Now, they don't want to repeat themselves. So it's important for us to take whatever we already know and then say, hey, I know you had a sales cycle before. This is our understanding so far from what we've learned so far. Is there anything else you'd like to add, change, so this is accurate and complete and we can help you as best we can? I think that's the motion.
You summarized it perfectly. And that's exactly like, I don't want to repeat myself. I told you, the organization, that already. And that is part of can be a difficult experience for a customer if they feel like, okay, there's a new person, there's a new CSM I never met before. Now I need to tell them everything again. You should know, the organization should know. Yes, absolutely, you can use that. And then we brought a lot of changes also with our asks to EverAfter, and they were very happy to change and adopt their product and put it on the roadmap, because they also saw high value out of the collaboration with us, because we were bringing a lot of feedback and asking for new elements, etc. And one thing which is also part of that journey, I just want to mention shortly, is like there's a functionality where you can show a certain element on the hub, like what you showed, and then the next part of the experience is blurry. So it's kind of the fear of being missed out of something exclusive for what is coming there, a
You know
teaser.
that there's more, but you're not sure what it is, and you get curious. That's part of the gamification of the experience. I think my main takeaway from this conversation is that don't belittle gamification. Don't belittle the experience and the human psyche. If you want to get adoption, you want to get like engaged customers, you have to think about these things. And yes, it has to be encapsulated in business value and customized experience and a customized value to their business. You have to understand their business, provide value that's relevant. But you can't just think that because you had a first value delivered, it can be any kind of value, whatever. No, it has to be something that excites the customer. So back to customer experience.
And in the end, we are all humans. I mean, it's a people's business, and people want to be seen. They want to be recognized as humans, and they love these elements. With all the advantages technology and AI brings, and we look into different solutions and also take the most out of generative AI. We are considering agents and how to solve that. We worked a lot on our reporting, very close with RevOps. Also, how can we bring the best experience to customers, and how can we get the most efficiency out of that? But it's in the end always about humans. And if you see the humans and if you give them that feeling with added technology and wonderful people who are interacting with your customers, that's the best combination.
I also want to point out, look at how beautiful the portal is and how well connected it is to your brand. You didn't skim on anything. You made it very brand aware, very cool with your mascot. Everything ties together. It's a very pleasant experience for the user. It's almost like creating an application to go with your application.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there's a menu consideration, cute emojis so that it's easy to understand what it is about. Your videos are embedded, interactive ideas to how they can vote on certain things. The voice of the customer, this is how you release any kind of new features? You actually add a video and then ask them to vote on new ideas? What's going on here?
One thing is that we have official roadmap sessions where we invite our customers, and also we try to have them as interactive as possible. Also, we have product experts on the call. Customers can interact and ask questions. Then we have this product innovation board where customers can pitch their ideas or bring in functionalities they would wish for. Then other customers can vote for it, and then it's decided if it's on the roadmap or not. And they also see like the results here in the hub, like if they had impact on that, or they get also feedback like did it make it to the roadmap, etc. So it's also for the customers a very good compliment. But besides that, we also have actually formats like we call it Heard by Spryker, where we bring people together either regionally, or now we have our Excite coming up in September again, where we spend a full day only with customers on site without sales, and we hear our customers. We exchange with them. Product experts are in the room and they get to know the real challenges of our customers. Or we have a customer executive board where we have a dedicated group also feedbacking on our product or giving us visibility about their challenges or what's going on in the market, etc. And those are all different. And I just mentioned part of it, but they can flow into that voice of customer area where we can then again also share very, very valuable content and context for customers and bring that either in documentation, in videos, or to inspire them or to push certain topics to them.
I love it because you have the home button, and then this next thing is the voice of the customer. It's like, we want to hear from you. And this is the order in which the importance of things are. So your voice is very important. I think it reads this company's customer centric.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to get to know more about it, I mean, there's a wonderful success story you are also referring here to, but I'm also very happy for any individual reach outs. Find me on LinkedIn, reach out, and I'm very happy to also give you a demo or if you're looking into that. So whoever is interacting with your episode here will get a little Oscar if you reach out to me on LinkedIn. So that's our mascot, the finger puppet. It's handmade in Peru for a good cause, brings women to work. Make sure to comment, interact with Irit's podcast. And if you reach out to me and give me your mail address, I will make sure that little Oscar finds its way to your home.
Yeah, that's very generous of you. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I think this was a real eye opening, the importance and the impact that customer portals can have on the customer experience, how to do these right, all the little differences, the little things that we do that makes a difference and makes it stick and gets clients excited, whether it's the actual experience with the elements of community and like the look and feel and the gamification to the actual value, and who else do you need to have collaborating with you from other teams to make it juicy, to make it meaty for the customers and get excited about that. If anybody's listening here, you want to read more about the use case and see more screenshots of how Pablo's implementation of a customer hub looks like, we're going to include the link to the EverAfter award page for his solution is, so you could take a look more. I want to just mention a few of the impacts that included in the use cases that Pablo was so generous of sharing. 30% reduction in time to value, 5 to 7 hours shaved weekly from the CS team to focus more on value activities than just non-value activities. 20% reduction in time to first transaction. So they accelerated the onboarding process. 7% increase in CSAT, customer satisfaction rates. So that's definitely plus. And of course, improved net retention rate, positive direction towards that. So better adoption of new products, new features, better collaboration across the team, et cetera, et cetera. You've heard it all today. And with that, it's a wrap. Pablo, thank you so much for joining the show.
Thank you very much, Irit, for having me. And one thing I want to share at the very end, I believe in serendipity. And I found a very good book about that, Connect the Dots, because serendipity is about the choice of doing the right choices in your life. So that is something which guides me in life and also in business decisions.
Guten Tag, auf Wiedersehen, all my Deutsch friends. I'll see you on the next video.